Hi, I'm Asha at Asha's Angle, entertainment writer and personality for the LA Note. And if you haven't seen the premiere this week of Fox's new crime drama TV show, The Cleaning Lady, oh my gosh, you must go to fox.com, fox.com, to catch up on episode 1 that aired this past Monday. It's so exciting for me today to be joined by the co-star character Fiona. Definitely the type of best friend and sister-in-law any girl would love to have in her life, played by Australian and Filipina actress Martha Millan. Now, you have probably seen Martha in shows like The OA, one of my fave binge watch shows, Madam Secretary, and of course, cult classic TV show Entourage, in which she played Sylvie's wife. Thank you for speaking with us today. And of course, congratulations. I love the show and your character, obviously. Can you tell everyone what this sexy new drama, which I think it's very sexy, is all about, and how you see your character, Fiona, developing throughout the show?
That's wonderful that you think it's sexy. Definitely a lot of explosive passion that happens with whether it's between Armand and Tony or me punching someone. Yes. So we're very passionate, fiery people. I play Fiona De La Rosa. Tony De La Rosa is my sister-in-law, and I am an undocumented worker in the show. I'm a single mother, so there's so many challenges that I'm facing. However, as I mentioned before, she is a spirited, very passionate woman, and I think it's wonderful that we should all embrace that as women and be okay with it, and not be called crazy, but it's okay.
So during a time when a lot of people need encouragement or motivation these days to go after their dreams, tell us about your thought process when deciding to audition as a new actor on a whim, I heard, while on your trip to New York City, ultimately not only being accepted, but graduating from the Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York, then living as a true New York actress.
Actually, it's a great question. I mean, for me, like you said, I just wanted to explore it and see what happens, because mainly I was really lost in university, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then when I wanted to just kind of venture out and travel the world, my mother was like, "No, you have to do something." And I said, "Okay, fine, I'm going to act." And
why not?
She didn't expect that. But fortunately, things did work out. However, there definitely are ups and downs. This is such a challenging industry. And I think one thing that I've learned, and this is a constant calibration of who you are and how you handle things. But my priority is to have fun, because I think once you get too serious and you take everything that affects you impacts you, and if you can't get out of that, then it's hard to move forward. So definitely just keep things light, really focus on the choices that you make, and just go in there without any judgments on yourself, and make them believe that you are right for this role. So that's my thought process, because there's so many things you can't change about yourself. I was told so many times I'm not Asian enough, I'm too Asian, and it's just like, well, I just want to work. So
right.
My job.
Find a place for me. Well, you're very beautiful. And of course, and you have a wonderful personality so far, from what I can tell, off camera, which, means a lot oftentimes these days, even more than on screen. Being born in the Philippines, then moving to Australia at the age of 4. Next, you moved to Los Angeles, I believe, attended the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and then New York. How has adapting city to cultures and even languages helped you apply those adaptive skills and really go after your career goals?
I think for me, traveling is so important. And it's about learning different cultures, different lifestyles, the way people behave in a different city or country. You begin to understand people's points of views, and I think it's important to have and be exposed to all different perspectives, so that you have an understanding and empathize in people's decisions or situations, much like Tony and Fiona and Armand and all the characters on the show. But I think just to be exposed culturally to a wide variety. It opens your mind. It really allows you to understand people, understand people's behavior, and I think that's part of my job as an actor to really, understand why we do the things that we do. And so, in terms of assimilating to different cities, it's more for me immersing myself into their culture, into how people live, and that way, that way you kind of just go with the flow there.
So aside from acting, can you tell us about some of your long-term goals for yourself, both personally and professionally?
Right. No, the reason why I let go of my apartment in New York was I relocated to Albuquerque, and I just really wanted to focus on the series for 4 months straight, and at the same time, just a change of energy and everything. And I was going to come back in the new year with a new show, premiering, and I wanted to come back with new energy. So yeah, currently I'm looking for a place, but professionally, I really would love to continue telling this story. I think there's so many elements that are compelling and, relevant right now, especially, with the topics that we deal with. But what I love about the show is Miranda Kwok and Melissa Carter have beautifully shaped it in a way that, it still adds that element of explosions and drama and everything.
Exactly.
Interweaving all these really topical issues, but grounding it through family values that people can relate to. And that is a story that I want to keep telling as much as we can.
Hopefully it's a season 2. Yes.
So, for me, those are just my goals. I think what I've learned is just to kind of stay in the moment and be present and be so grateful with what's happening in the moment that eventually, all the things that you want kind of gravitate towards you anyway.
So how do you feel about The Cleaning Lady being the first ever American TV show focusing on Filipinos, especially during a time when people are so motivated to talk about the lack of diversity in entertainment?
Yeah, it's groundbreaking. I mean, it's historical, the fact that, I get to audition for who I am. Sure. For my heritage, because most of the time, back when I first started, you just had a general concept of Asian, so you're just Asian. But then most of the time, I'm not Asian enough. I'm too Asian, and now it's just like so specific that it's so. It's really a relief to see the world changing and transitioning to how it should be represented. Obviously, it's indicative of what people want, because from what I'm told, it was the highest rated series premiere for Fox in the last 2 years. Yeah. And with, being representing the Southeast Asian culture at the forefront, all cultures, Mexican, Armenian, plenty more, obviously, throughout the series. It says a lot of what people are craving and how they're evolving. And I think, the one thing that is constant is change. And if you're not evolving with those changes, then there's consequences to not representing who we are anymore, right?
Absolutely. You're no longer relevant.
Yes.
Which we don't want that. So tell us about this global online drama education program for children that you started.
That was I've been teaching for a while, but it was just during COVID that I needed to connect with people, but I also wanted to still somehow express myself through my craft, my art. And I just thought, again, let's teach. But I love teaching kids. So I teach children from 10 to 16. And it's just amazing how open and free and unfiltered they are. So it's good in many ways, but I remember doing a repetition exercise with one of the kids, and the whole repetition exercise is about behavior. So you have to observe and say something. I said, okay, so say something that you observe of me. And he's like, you're old. I was like, I'm no. But the funny thing was, I was like, wow, okay, that's true. That's
How
true.
dare you?
And I'm older than you, but
right. I am not an old woman. I am a working actress.
Exactly. So just those beautiful moments remind me of what my art and craft is all about. It's just being in the moment, present, and living that moment spontaneously and truthfully. So
absolutely. What do you teach them? Like, what are they learning from you?
So I do a lot of character analysis or scene study, but I mean, but they're not just doing simple scenes. I give them scenes sometimes that I audition for, obviously.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, age appropriate in a sense of there's no swear words in them, but so very deep. And I'm just so impressed by their commitment, and they really take it seriously in the choices that they make. So for me, I learn a lot by watching them. And I teach them repetition from, as I mentioned before, it's a behavioral exercise that keeps you in the moment.
Sure.
And then we do scene work with each other. So I partner people up and we do scene work online and everything. But it's more about building confidence in the kids rather than turning them into, movie stars. Of course, if they want that, absolutely, I will help them in whatever way. But it's about just really seeing these children just come out of their shell, especially when they were locked down, but also just in general. I think having the skill to be able to present yourself in front of people and communicate freely
absolutely
is such an advantage,
Absolutely. That's really cool. Thank you for that. I mean, anything I'm personally an advocate of influencing youth and behavior and image and, poise and making great decisions and being confident and comfortable with who you are and, evoking that. So bravo to you for doing that and seeing the need for that. Without anyone necessarily telling you, but you just took that initiative and inserted yourself in an area that needed to be served. So on a lighter note, I noticed on your Instagram when you were kind of behind the scenes, you were enjoying a kimchi vegan meal from one of your co-actors. Now, pardon my American ignorance, but all of my experiences with kimchi, even though I know the health benefits, have not been the most delicious in preparations. So can you maybe share with us some other ways that you can enjoy it, or how did you have it in that meal? Because that actually looked really delicious.
The story is that Sean Liu, who plays my son Chris in the show, he's an amazing chef, and he even during his days off comes on set and actually cooks with the caterers.
Wow.
For everybody for free. I mean,
that's so cool.
Are you getting paid for this?
But no, he loves it.
He just really loves it. And so his specialty, I guess they didn't have a vegan or that many vegan recipes. So he actually created many, recipes for them. And that was one specific vegan kimchi roll that he had made. I don't know exactly. I mean, okay, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not a good cook. I knew how to boil in my food.
It's okay. That's what they have a lot of meal plan service subscriptions for.
Exactly. And the fact that, fortunately,
or private chef.
Who is my son, he knows how to cook really well, and once he's able to eat properly.
I'm a meal.
So that was the story behind that. And the whole time, each time he cooked, I never got to try his dishes. And that was the last day of shooting. And he actually came on set to do it specifically for that. And so I was behind the scenes while I guess he was still cooking. And in between my scenes, I would try it. And that's when I was like, okay, I got to take this. He really believes that I had it. And it was amazing.
Wow. That's so cool. Yeah, it looked stunning. Not like any kimchi I've ever seen as a side dish before. Are you a vegan by chance? Or is that just something you can dabble with if it presents itself?
Oh, yeah, I dabble with anything. Pretty much I eat anything. And I can be vegan. I can be carnivorous. I can be
exactly. I'm the same way. I'm such a foodie. So that's very awesome. So one of the last things, is there anything else you would like our LA Note audience to know about you, or any projects that you have coming up in 2022?
At this point, I am just kind of really experiencing for the first time what it's like for a series to drop, being a series regular. So that's something that I'm relishing right now.
Of course.
And fingers crossed we still get to continue to tell this story. But in terms of just auditioning, definitely things are coming up again. We'll see if I start hitting the pavement.
Well, fingers crossed, because you are amazing. I just fell in love with your character. I was like, how can I have her on my team? Because you're so real, such a cheerleader, that kind of like that voice that we all have in our head, but you need someone in like full, like, as a human being to be like, you should do this. Don't do that. Oh, come on. Why not? So I loved it. And the styling, very, very, very. As you can see behind the scenes pics and video by following Martha on Instagram at Martha Millan NYC, and updates by following the show at Cleaning Lady Fox. Martha, we cannot wait to see more of you and your chemistry with Elodie Young on Monday nights on The Cleaning Lady at 9 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Thank you so much for being here today. And you guys, I'm Asha for the LA Note, and you can follow me directly at Asha's Angle for more of my angle on arts and entertainment.